What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Wallet Monkey channel, where we give you all the credit intel you need to grow your wallet. Now today, I wanted to talk about another crypto credit card, which is the Nexo card. Now, this card is quite different than other cards that we've covered because it is essentially working off of the balance that you've got in your account. So this is one of those ecosystem plays, and so this has nothing to do with getting approved through credit bureaus. It is solely based on the balance that you've got in your, let's call it, savings account within Nexo itself. So this calls itself a credit card all over the site, except for one area that I can see, which is in the terms of service. It actually calls it a debit card, so I don't really know where to place this. And since we're taking a loan off of a balance that we've got, I don't even know what we call this. I guess who cares? Let's just call it a credit card for now, but it is very different than a debit card like the FTX card, the Binance card, the Coinbase card, because those are solely working off of your balance and there's no loaning. It's just a 1-to-1 ratio. So as you spend, it takes out of your balance, which is kind of a really bad way to do it, actually. And I know back in the early days of crypto, 2017, 2018, we were really excited when these cards first started coming out. I think the only one at that time was BitPay. And you just moved crypto over into it and then spent it like a regular credit card, but it was your crypto. And again, for back then, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing, even though now today that an offer like that kind of sucks. Like, why would you do that? So anyways, let's dive into it. There's 5 or maybe 6 pages I want to share with you because unfortunately, to talk about the credit card, we need to talk about the loyalty levels, and to talk about like what happens when you can't pay back. We need to talk about LTV, loan to value. We need to talk about the liquidation engine that they use to start to close out or sell your hard assets to cover what you've spent on the card. And so there's a huge amount of disclaimer that we need to make around this too, because this is very risky in comparison to a normal credit card that you've got in your wallet. Normal credit card that you've got in your wallet, right? It's got a 5, 10, whatever amount of thousands of dollar limit on it, right? And if you max that out, it'll decline the transaction, or it'll, you're allowed to go over the limit, and then you can just, pay additional and, get that down below the max limit. Whereas with this card it can actually start to sell off your assets depending on the timing of you purchasing something and then you putting more money into the account. So just please keep that in mind, okay? And also too, just like anything else, you are rewarded for a lower loan to value ratio. So if you've got your loan to value 20% or lower, you fit into the highest tier bracket for rewards and APYs on your money every year, as well as you qualify for 0% interest on this card. So anyways, a lot to unpack here. Let's dive into it. So I think we'll kind of flow through the card, then we'll go into loyalty levels, and naturally we'll talk about rewards there, and then we'll talk about LTV and probably wrap it up from there. All right, so you can earn up to 2% in crypto rewards. This is gonna be mostly the Nexo coin though, and Bitcoin. So you can earn up to 2% in Bitcoin or the Nexo coin. And credit line rates starting from 0%. If you are above 20% loan to value on the loan, that is the collateral that funds this whole card, then you'll get a higher rate. We'll cover that in just a second. All right, so I covered the basics, right? So we're collateralizing our assets. We've got Bitcoin, ETH, hard cryptocurrency assets in the Nexo account. That is what we're then getting a loan off of, which funds and fuels the credit card. Now, I have no clue what this all looks like in the back end. Probably pretty easy. And it's obviously all part of one system, so it should be pretty seamless. All right, use your crypto as collateral, but retain the ownership of your assets. Again, this is kind of rare and different than other platforms, right? So it says, allowing you to spend up to 90% of the value of the crypto without selling it. That's kind of a little, being hyperbolic or overselling it. Like they're shooting a little high on this. I'll show you in just a couple of minutes. That's not really true. It actually starts to liquidate, I think, at 80%. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right, get up to 0.5% in crypto rewards when earning in Bitcoin, or change your reward type, Nexo, and get more. So they obviously want you to hold Nexo. Actually, The entire framework of the loyalty program is based off of how much of your portfolio is Nexo. This is great because it bumps the price up of Nexo and keeps the volatility, I would assume, lower on something like Nexo, and kind of puts it into the category of almost like a stable coin. So I think that's unique and interesting. I can't think of another coin that does that this exact same way. Okay, so it can start off at 0% APR and never exceeding 13.9. Okay, so that's good to know. So the peak is 13.9, which still puts you way lower than traditional. You can get up to 26.99, I think is the highest, or maybe even 29 with some subprime borrowers. Okay, optimize your tax liabilities. That's probably going to be a really common question. I don't really know. Nexo Card allows you to spend without selling your crypto. Oh, right. So every time you sell crypto, it's a taxable event. So let's just stick with that as the baseline. Any more details, talk to your CPA. No minimum repayments and fees. Okay, virtual spend, virtual cards. Yeah. Okay, freeze your card if you lose it. It's got a PIN. And then 1, 2, 3 in terms of applying. Okay, so let's start to get into some of the FAQ. We're gonna save this and jump over to what we need to cover before we go any deeper, which is the loyalty program. So the loyalty program is base, silver, gold, platinum. Base, there's no Nexo tokens are needed. And you're also gonna get the lowest amount of rewards. Okay, so that's up to 1% of Nexo in your portfolio. Silver is 1 to 5%, gold 5 to 10%, and platinum is above 10%. I'll tell you right now, like platinum, if you were to do this and you could get platinum, it's actually pretty sweet. All right, the portfolio balance is a combined value of the credit line and savings wallets. The loyalty program bases rewards tiers on the ratio of Nexo tokens versus the value of all assets in your portfolio balance. So the savings wallet is where all your assets sit, and then the credit line is what you're essentially borrowing based off of that. That's where all this loan to value stuff is going to come into play later. All right, which must be at least 1, 5, 10% respectively for each tier. Loyalty benefits. Okay, here was the original loyalty benefits because this is a help article. I don't know if this is up to date. So instead, let's now jump ahead to, this was from November of 2021, talking about rollouts for December 1st. So yeah, look, up to $10 million held at the platinum level, you're getting somewhere between 5 and 16% annual APY. That's crazy. I mean, not crazy in light of like inflation and taxes and everything else that absolutely suck, but like that's a lot, man. That is absolutely a lot. Gold, you're at like 4.5, capping out at 11% on DOT. The high APYs, like, it's appealing, but you got to also understand is that there is still essentially impermanent loss, which is that if I'm holding the asset and I'm simply just holding it to get this 16%, well, the price fluctuations in the underlying asset could make this completely worthless. So you can look up impermanent loss. It's usually calculated and looked at in terms of like farming and getting into deeper aspects of crypto, but you should be looking at that underlying loss that you could sustain by just holding the asset, because you're like, oh man, this is 16%, I'll just hold this, without even knowing what the hell AVAX is or Matic or DOT, because again, those can be really, really volatile assets. Okay, so silver, you basically get, so let's look at, oh wait, let's look at base. So base, you get 4% up to possibly 12% with AVAX. Do the changes applied? The exact interest rates depending on your user's loyalty tier. Bonuses applicable for fixed in. Okay, yeah, so basically they just made changes. The bonuses, while you based on your loyalty level, are as follows: plus 2%, plus 1 on gold, plus 0.25, and 0 on base. Well, there you go. So it obviously pays to earn in Nexo and to hold some of the highest yielding assets, but I'd probably go stables. I mean, stables at 10% is really, really good. Stable coins usually don't move. Nexo would be another one that you could look at. Again, Bitcoin is really volatile unless you're just holding this and this is like your evergreen portfolio. Well, maybe not even your cold wallet. Leave your cold wallet storage alone. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's fine. But there should be one wallet that you've got that you just like never touch with crypto. And then the next one, which is one that you're not really planning on selling, but you still kind of want to leverage, you could carefully use something like this. But again, that now turns us to, we need to talk about loan to value, but let me just quickly point this out. So the card is a MasterCard is a MasterCard bearer debit card. So this is like in the Nexo Card general terms and conditions. This is why you read this stuff. I always point this out, and I don't know if people can appreciate it, but I dig through the docs as much as I can possibly stand. And I usually like lose attention, maybe like 3-4 pages in if it's that long. But there is a lot of really interesting stuff that you need to know. So let's keep going here. It also looks like the underlying company is DI Pocket, DI Pocket. Or the underlying asset that owns Nexo, because everything referenced in these docs is DI Pocket. So that is significant in some sort of way, like as the underlying service or brand that you're using. I didn't look at the top, so the LLCs and stuff like that breakdown, you can if you care. But okay, all right, what else did I find interesting? Oh, this was interesting. How you can use your card in this section. So I'm just going to point out a small piece of this, and then I would strongly advise you to read the rest of this yourself because there's some interesting languaging. Okay, all transactions require authorization. That's usually done by a PIN. We will not normally authorize a transaction if the balance on your card is insufficient to cover the transaction and any related transaction fee. If, for any reason whatsoever, you're able to make a transaction when there is insufficient funds on your card, they call this the shortfall, we will seek reimbursement of the shortfall from you immediately. What does that mean? I don't know. This is pretty generic languaging, but does that mean they start selling my underlying assets to cover that? And again, nobody's looking to do this, but what if you did goof this up in some sort of way, which is easy enough to do, right? You're not a bookkeeper or accountant or, keeping super close eye on your books. Most people aren't. So what if you accidentally did this? Would they start, and what asset would they start with? I don't know. I didn't dig deep enough. It might actually break that down, and if it does, you should know that. Does it start with Bitcoin or does it start with DOT? Does it start with Nexo? And at what rate? Am I getting like the best rate, or is this like, how does the order book flow actually work for fulfilling these orders as well? And this is like more advanced kind of crypto talk, but understand there's an order book. And there's a wide spread of pricing being offered on these assets, especially in terms of volatility. So what are we actually selling at? Is it just like an immediate market order? Are we setting a limit bid? Are we trying to get as close as possible to, let's call it, the real value that it's holding currently in my portfolio? How does that work? These are really, really good questions that you might even want to reach out to their support if they don't break that down in here. You may ask us to provide you with information about transactions for up to 5 years from the date of the transaction. So this right here, you should already be asking major questions, because the thing that you can't do with something like this is if you don't know, it's your fault. And something goes wrong, it's your fault. And would you really want that happening with your underlying asset? No, you should never want that. So this is how you got to figure this stuff out. This was weird too. Okay, AML, where was it? I think it was like using the card for, no, that wasn't it. Maybe it was like this last little bit here. Okay, yep, regarded, where is it? Unauthorized. Okay. The return of amount authorized transaction initiated to receive transaction was already executed on the amount of transaction. I don't know, but it had some pretty interesting terminology around like unauthorized transactions. So fraudulent code or PIN. I don't know. Definitely read that. And then, oh, here we go. Restrictions on the functionality of your account. Okay, so keep this in mind too. You may only use the DI Pocket account to make purchases of goods and services and to receive and send funds in accordance with the applicable legislation and this agreement. So if you didn't understand this and you went and accidentally bought medical marijuana, would that jeopardize your card in certain states because that is not federally approved yet? It might. And so that might actually put you at risk that you had no clue about unless you watched this video or, dug through these docs, which most people don't. Okay, if we have reasonable cause to believe that you have violated the requirements of this agreement or of applicable legislation, DI Pocket may take measures to protect itself, its customers, or third parties. In this case, DI Pocket may, amongst other things, do the following: restrict, suspend, or close access to your account. Where's my money gonna go? How long are they gonna hold it? Like, this is why services like this sound really great on the surface, but if you're like a diehard crypto fan, diehard sovereignty, and like, I want my freedoms fan, services like this suck. These cards are not worth it. They're trash. You just might as well hold the underlying asset and just deal with it, right? It's like the difference between the guys who are like, cash is king and I'll never take out credit, and credit as long as we use it responsibly, right? So it's a lot like that. You're probably already making up your opinions based on some of the stuff that we're reading, but this is stuff that you should know. All right, enough of that. I just wanted to show you that. So quickly, here is supported assets that you can earn off of. Here's a bigger, better list of that. And we can earn in its same currency or with Nexo. Understand that this is like Nexo that we're earning off of this. So we're not earning 12% USDT, we're earning 12% Nexo, right? Which I don't even know what the price of it is at the time of shooting this video, excuse me. And who cares? All right, so earn, was this the next one I wanted to look at? No, sir, I want this one, borrow. Okay, this needs to be shown again. Get premium rates of just 0 to 1.9% by becoming a gold or platinum client and keeping your LTV below 20%. All right, so that's the first piece. We bring up LTV here again, right here. Margin calls, like this is when you get liquidated. So I don't know if you've ever made your way to subreddit or experienced leverage trading or margin trading in any capacity, maybe cryptocurrency, maybe somewhere else. This is different than Robinhood or any spot buying that you get. This has leverage to it. So if you were to leverage trade and you actually hit the liquidation price, or what's called a liquidation engine, is it'll immediately start selling that position at whatever it possibly can get from the market. So these are market sells. So you lose even more than you thought because of something called slippage. It means that if I put in a ton of orders right now, the price, it's gonna fluctuate that price, and there's gonna be different people filling that order. So there's a whole block of price that essentially just filled my order. So that's what's called slippage. So it's like the point of which you put in the order and what you're actually paying. That's slippage. And I'm teaching you actually this is really, some of this is advanced stuff in terms of trading, advanced trading terminology and understanding. So that needs to be understood at least at a basic level so that you can keep your LTV low enough so that one, you don't get liquidated or margin called, and two, you get the best rates. So again, it's a lot, let's consider it and I guess correlate it to your utilization. If we keep our utilization low, we get access to more credit, right? On our credit profile. Same thing here. So you get a 3-strike system, meaning like 3 notifications. So it goes 71.4, 74.1, and then 76.9. These are SMS and email notifications, which again, if there was enough market volatility and this really moved against you, they would be going bang, bang, bang in your email inbox. What if you're out and you don't even know this is happening? You can't jump in front of your computer fast enough. You'd be liquidated. That is the risk. And if you've lived through it, then you know. If you haven't lived through it, a lot of this might just be sounding like, yeah, why would I ever do that? Trust me, please listen to what we're talking about. The actual liquidation, they said, starts somewhere after 80%. We're gonna look at that in just a second. Okay, but there is supposedly a window of when you can put more money into the savings wallet for it to pull from to the credit wallet, right? Oh, here it is right here, 83.3%. That's when it starts to liquidate. Automatic repayments. If you don't have assets in your savings wallet, then Nexo Blockchain Oracle will use portions of your collateral to initiate automatic credit repayments, just enough to fill the gap. Again, slippage. What rate does it fill at? Exchange fees you then have to you have to pay for. So it could end up being a lot more than you thought. What is loan to value? A credit lines. This is a very popular metric, by the way, with loans like HELOCs, ALOCs, sometimes personal loans. When you put up something as collateral, there is a loan to value. How much can I loan based off the value of that piece? Okay, credit lines, loan to value, LTV ratio determines the amount of crypto collateral you need in order to take out crypto credit. LTV is calculated as the ratio between the crypto credit amount in US dollars and the value of the collateral in US dollars at the time of doing it. At the time of doing it, expressed as a percentage. Crypto credit amount is 5,000, value of collateral 10,000, LTV 5/10 times 100% is 50%. So I would be at 50% loan to value. Next. All right, this is what we need to look at. Yeah, 83.3%. The next Nexo Blockchain Oracle, which why liquidations are needed to help protect us all. Yeah, so you should probably read this article too. May initiate partial automatic repayments to rebalance the loan to value ratio back within limits. That's comforting that it's not going to like nuke the whole thing. It's just going to do just enough. Again, you got to dig into that. All right, so if the collateral's value increases, your credit line limit also goes up. You're free to withdraw more and leave your current credit line as is. You can also use the extra value of your credit to pay off part of your credit. If your assets have met the price target, then you can place an order in your Nexo wallet to sell a fraction of the crypto assets in your account, repay part of your outstanding balance. Now, if the collateralized assets decrease in value, your loan to value or LTV will rise. And so it starts to like, think of it like this. It's like, how fast can you run at a brick wall? Some of this starts to get like, it can get there really, really quick. So we're talking about like in a matter of minutes with how volatile some of these assets are. So having a balanced portfolio would be like the basic thing that you could do to minimize this. But also too, like you'd have to have a deeper understanding of crypto and be watching it long enough to understand what a 5, 10, 15, 30% move on Bitcoin would mean to an LTV like this, right? So you could just do the math on that. If the LTV was taken when the price was really high, that is worse than if you take out the loan when the price of Bitcoin is lower in retrospect of what you think it's going to do. And then let's say from here it goes to $100,000, right? Oh my gosh, that worked in our favor. But let's say we bought it 100,000 and it comes back down to 20,000, you're liquidated. All right. So I think that's enough on that. I hope this covers everything. I really want to caution you strongly. These things sound like really, really exciting, and I'm excited about them too. Just keep in mind like the downside risk. Let's wrap up here with foreign transaction fees. Depending on your loyalty tier, you can enjoy up to 20,000 euros in free foreign transactions. No fees up to 3,000 euros for basic. And then platinum is up to no fees up to 20,000 euros. That's pretty crazy. Wow. You can even get into how to make repayments. Tap the repayment button in dashboard. Yeah, see, I figured it would be pretty easy. What crypto rewards? Yeah, okay, so we already covered that. I think that's it. There's a lot more stuff for you to check out and educate yourself on, and then obviously reach out to their help team if you have other questions. But I think that this is a different spin on it, and it's a decent solution. I would just say that it's probably geared towards somebody who doesn't really care about crypto and or somebody who deeply knows about crypto. So there you have it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you've used this, if you've got personal experience, please comment, let us know. If you want to help this video get in front of more people to help save them, just click the like button. Algorithmically, it'll do something apparently, and more people will see this video. And if you're brand new here and you like this sort of thing, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, turn it to all. Be on the lookout, more videos coming soon.